Brooksaw Antiques here. Today we have this 1938 Remington Noiseless Model 7 vintage portable typewriter. I'm going to show you how to use the functions and make sure they all work. Up top is the adjustable paper guide. This helps you guide the page in straight. I'm going to line that up with the edge of the platen, which is this main roller that feeds the paper. And the margins are located behind this flip panel, and you just push the button like this and you can move it. And I'm going to line that up with the edge of the platen too. And I'm going to line this right one up with just right in before this right paper finger, so that way we don't type over that and get stuck on it. And then we can reassess once we get the paper loaded. So the paper finger on the left and the right are adjustable. And as you can see, you'll get stuck on it and push it, so you want to make sure the margins are just right in between those. That's about as close as you want to get, and that's pretty good. Once you hear the bell, you're at the end of the margin. You hit this line space, gets you back to the beginning, and skips 1, 2, or 3 spaces. Right now we have it on single, but if you want double, you just flip the switch right down here. Down 1, it skips 2, 1 more, it skips 3. That works good. We're going to keep that on single for now and finish typing. As you can see, all the keys type nice and none of them skip or stick. I'll type a sentence on the next line. Beautiful. It's an excellent condition machine, functioning and cosmetic. Glossy black, not a scratch on it. Almost 100 years old, and it still works flawlessly and looks this good. Very rare to have that, both combination. To pull the page out easy, there's a switch on the right side here. Flip it backwards. It unlocks the rollers underneath the platen, allowing you to pull the page out easy or load thicker paper like carbon copy or cardstock. Make sure you flip that back before you load the next page, or else it won't load correctly. That is called the paper release. And this is the noiseless, and a lot of people will comment on this saying it's not very noiseless. This was a patent back in the 1800s. They made a big desktop typewriter, and then they sold that patent to Remington. And Underwood and Monarch also has similar models. Basically the same exact parts put into these, and instead of flipping up from underneath and slapping the platen, it punches it or kisses it. So it barely touches the platen, and it's got like it's got 2 mechanisms. One, it's just kind of hard to explain. You have to look into the patent, but it punches it and kisses it instead of slapping it, and it's basically as quiet as you can get with typewriters. This is the most quiet typewriter that you can buy of all time. So it's got a shift on each side and a shift lock on the left. To clear that, just hit the shift button again. And just for reference, it's like having a silencer on a gun. You could still hear the gunshot. It just doesn't go, it doesn't expand into other rooms. Like, you can't hear this from the other room. But if you got a regular typewriter, you can hear it like almost like a drum set all throughout the house. So shift on each side, shift lock on the left. Clear that, hit the shift button again. Backspace on the left side works great. Get a tab on the right side. And the tabs are manual set. So it's got these little inserts. You just take them. And these get lost, so this one has 4, but these get lost all the time. You put them wherever you want on this rack. It's got a scale to tell you exactly what spot space you're on. So you got 4 options here to hit to stop on that tab, and that works good. Color selector on the right. We got a solid black ribbon, but if you had a black and red ribbon, you would flip this down to red if you want to type in red, and that vibrator just goes up a little higher. When you have it on the top blue, it prints the top portion of the ribbon. When you have it in the middle, it doesn't print any ink at all. It leaves a stencil for copying purposes. Margin release on the right side, so you get to the end of the margin, it'll block you from typing. Unless you hit that margin release, it'll allow you to go until you get stuck on that right finger. Backspace on the right side. All the brand new ribbons loaded on the left, so it's pulling to the right. And if you want to switch that direction, there's a rod that goes all the way through. And if you want it to go left, you push it in from the right, it'll pull to the left. And if you want it to pull to the right, you push it in from the left. And that's the way we want it. It does have an automatic ribbon reverse, I believe. So when one side gets used up, it'll automatically switch to the other side. So here's another cool function about this typewriter. It's got a carriage lock. By pushing down this lever here, and then when you get to the middle, you push in this right knob, it'll lock the carriage. To unlock it, let's do that again. So it's locked. So it's locked. To unlock it, all you do is, like I did that on accident a couple times, you just pull this left or the right knob out to the right. Carriage release on each side, very smooth. Unbelievably nice condition. There's like no dust on this or anything. Regular wear from 100 years of being on this earth. Carriage release on the left. Push in this button on the left knob, it'll disable the spacing so you can get to an exact spot on the page. You let it go, you get those clicks. Each one of those clicks is one space. And that's it. Now available on eBay or Etsy. Search Brooksaw Antiques.